Are you Matthew Aldridge?
I'm the attorney of fact for Matthew Aldridge.
You were what?
The attorney of fact.
Attorney what?
Of fact.
Attorney of fact. And what does that mean?
You know, his authorization to do legal representation.
Are you a licensed attorney?
No, I'm simply an attorney of fact.
Okay. And does that mean you have a power of attorney? What is your name? What is your name?
All right, everyone, today's court hearing is completely off the rails. We've got Matthew Aldridge here, at least that's the name listed on the paperwork, but the guy standing at the podium is pulling the classic I don't have a name routine, claiming he's an attorney of fact, which, by the way, isn't even a real concept in the law. These sovereign citizen types always try to argue that the court has no authority over them, but here's the reality: courts have jurisdiction over anyone within their area, no exceptions. The judge isn't buying this nonsense for even a second and shuts him down in an absolutely epic fashion at the end, completely outplaying him, so let's dive right into it.
My name?
Yes, sir.
I don't have.
You don't have a name? Pardon?
I'm the attorney of fact for the respondent mayor.
Well, let me explain to you. Only an attorney at law can stand in court and represent a criminal defendant. And to do so otherwise violates the criminal law statutes of the state of Tennessee and could land someone who attempts to represent themselves as an attorney at law in serious trouble. I understand what you're saying. I understand you're saying an attorney in fact. And what I want you to understand is that if you have a power of attorney, then you need to demonstrate that power of attorney. Do you have a legal document called a power of attorney?
No, I do not this time.
Okay. Then you don't have any authority to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge in this court. You have no legal authority, nor do you have any authority through a legal document to represent or to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge.
Why did the court just let me file this document?
Show it to the bailiff and he'll show it to me. Apparently there's a copy here.
I mean, it's one thing, the guy is claiming to be an attorney of fact, and to support that claim he literally just handed the judge a piece of paper, and I know you didn't get to see it because that part was a bit slow, but the document basically quoted a completely made-up law that supposedly gives him the right to represent Matthew Aldridge, and for anyone wondering, real attorneys must be licensed by the state and follow actual legal procedures, not this DIY, single-sheet, legal fantasy. Nonsense. Sovereign citizens like this guy love to argue about jurisdiction as if declaring themselves above the law actually works, and spoiler alert, it doesn't. Courts rely on well-established laws, not imaginary ones, and the judge here is clearly not interested in entertaining this nonsense. Honestly, is this whole sovereign citizen thing becoming more common, or am I just unlucky enough to keep running into these bizarre cases? Let me know in the comments.
All right. Well, I find that Matthew Neal Aldridge has failed to appear personally in this court for the plea day on his case, which is set for trial tomorrow. And as a result, you have no standing, sir, under what I know what you're trying to do is to try to use the sovereign citizen approach to this situation. And I'm simply telling you that you do not have the right to represent Matthew Neal Aldridge. If you are, in fact, Matthew Neal Aldridge, then you need to say so and stop this nonsense, because what you're attempting to do has no legal effect. You cannot challenge the criminal law or the jurisdiction of this court by simply filing some legal mumbo jumbo having to do with civil litigation. That has civil litigation in it. It is not a criminal case that you have cited. So it has no effect on this court regarding the criminal statutes of this court. This court is empowered under the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state of Tennessee, and by the duly elected citizens of Cheatham County to empower and enforce the laws of the state of Tennessee. And that is what I'm going to do regarding Matthew Lynn Aldridge. Mr. Aldridge is set for today to appear in court personally on what we call our last plea day before his trial date tomorrow.
Is that an Article 3 trial?
To what?
Would that be a article pre-trial, a trial by jury with jury?
It would be a trial by jury, certainly, it would be. But I don't know who you are. And I don't think you have any authority if you are not Matthew Lynn Aldridge to appear before this court. And you're wasting valuable time to all of these other citizens who are here today. So when I'm talking, you stop talking. No, you will when I'm finished talking. You are wasting the court's time by doing this. And I'm just simply instructing you that if you are, in fact, Matthew Lynn Aldridge, then this is your last day to settle your case. The trial date is set for tomorrow, and unfortunately, it will not go forward because of the fact that I have a conflict and I have to be in Stewart County on a civil matter. So we're going to assign a new trial date for Matthew Lynn Aldridge. All right, to Matthew Aldridge and the individual standing before me whose name must not be uttered.
This judge here is handling this lunatic like an absolute pro. I mean, he stays calm while shutting him down at every turn. This guy barely even gets a chance to push his attorney of fact nonsense before the judge dismantles it piece by piece. It almost seems like the judge either took this personally or, more likely, that he's dealt with this kind of stuff plenty of times before, especially once the guy started quoting his made-up laws. And honestly, I just found it really funny when the judge jumped in and said he couldn't even utter his name. That part cracked me up. Usually, you see judges stay more stoic and avoid showing any expression, so that moment really stood out, but it was clear from the very beginning that this judge wasn't going to waste any of his time on this circus act. At the end of the day, though, it just goes to show how ridiculous and pointless these stunts really are.
Then we will set a July 15th trial date for Mr. Aldridge. Whatever this document is that you have filed is in fact invalid because it does not cite any valid criminal statute, and therefore I'm denying whatever that might be in the way of a motion. The trial date will be July 15th. The last day for Mr. Aldridge to enter a plea or go to trial will be July the 8th. July the 8th. Now, we're going to give you a card. If you are, in fact, Matthew Aldridge and you're just playing games with the court regarding this nonsense that you filed, then you may get this card and you may go on about your business. If you are not Matthew Aldridge, then I would suggest to you, you relay to Mr. Aldridge that he must appear on July the 8th, or a bond revocation will take place, and his case will be will take place with him in jail, incarcerated on the 15th. That's the judgment of the court. You need to take your piece of paper and go on about your business.
Sovereign citizens are truly something else. These are people who genuinely believe they can opt out of the legal system by claiming they don't recognize the government's authority. They'll go on and on about things like common law or the UCC, the Uniform Commercial Code, while completely misunderstanding how those laws actually work. And just to be clear, courts operate under federal, state, and local laws that have been in place for centuries and are backed by the Constitution, whether they realize that or not. There's no loophole where you can simply decide the rules don't apply to you, yet these people still clog up courtrooms with bizarre arguments, wasting everyone's time and accomplishing absolutely nothing except earning themselves a criminal record in the process. Legally speaking, the entire sovereign citizen defense falls apart because of one simple concept: jurisdiction. Courts have jurisdiction over anyone within their geographic area, no matter what kind of legal nonsense someone tries to claim. That stuff might sound clever inside echo chambers, but judges have seen it all and don't entertain it for even a second. And for anyone wondering, trying to dodge taxes or dismiss a speeding ticket using these tactics doesn't just fail, it can actually lead to harsher penalties for wasting the court's time. Personally, I don't understand why these people keep trying this. Do they really think they're outsmarting the system, or is it just some strange form of rebellion? Either way, it's ridiculous and honestly kind of sad, because they're not fighting the system at all, they're just making fools of themselves. Anyway guys, that's going to wrap up my breakdown for today. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what you think about sovereign citizens in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and take care.